What's up, my 1111 YouTube friends? It's that time of the project. Hang on, let me get my brewski here. Let's hand the camera over. Cheers to all my YouTube friends. Yum, yum, yum. Let me set that down. We have a couple very important thanks we want to read off quick. Megan's going to read off some super thanks names that recently donated to the channel and a couple more doozies. And Trent and I can't thank you guys enough. You really help out. The first two names we're going to read off actually each bought us a 5-gallon can of race fuel for this thing right here. They were very, very generous donations to the channel on the super thanks. That's something you can do right underneath the top of the video. Go to the bottom side of the video, you can click on thanks, and you can enter a dollar amount to donate to the channel, and it really, really helps. I just recently put that on the channel, and it's making a big difference. So Megan, please read off the names. We got Turbo. Ironically, we built a turbo sled, and we actually have a turbo dog. Yeah, he's a hoot. So read off the names quick for us, Megan.
A big shout out to Tom Stoffel, Galactic Builder, Doug Gregory, Chad Barton, Raymond Dancer, 96 Ultra, M. Billert, Aaron Reddish, Michael Delaney.
That's all of them.
And that's all.
And I can't thank you guys enough. Really do appreciate it. And something else I just enabled recently with my channel is you can become a member. And I have 3 levels starting at $3.99 a month, $6.99, $9.99. You get a little bit more exclusive, some behind the scenes pictures, chats with me, some videos. So if you can consider becoming a member, once again, it just helps out more with our channel. Keeps me and Trenton building these awesome machines and saving these old muscle sleds. We love doing it. And all the money comes out of our pocket for the most part. But if you guys want to become a member and help, that would be awesome. So then the next question in the last video was, what is the age group that has the highest percentage that watches my videos? And now that everybody aged themselves, I know what your age is. That's awesome. Most of you are around my age. So I'll tell you, I'm turning 53 soon. So I was buying these things new back in the early 90s as a young 20-year-old. Actually late teens, early 20s, I was buying these sleds. So that's awesome that everybody had commented. It was over 300 comments on the ages and stuff. And a couple of the age groups, it was like such a small percentage, like 65 and older. It was like 5%. That's why I didn't even ask the age group. So their age group was kind of in the middle of the ages that I threw out there. So Megan is going to tell us the number 1 age group was
35 to 44-year-olds at 25%, and the one that comes right behind them is 45 to 55. Sorry, 45 to 54 at 22%.
Yep, 22%. So very close on those 2 group of ages. So, but that was fun. Hope you guys stick around to the end of the video. I have another question to ask for people to comment on. Love doing this because I love reading all the comments. So please comment when I ask the question about what I'm going to ask towards the end of the video. So let's check out the sled. We are so close to firing this monster up. We cannot wait. Just a couple little things to detail out yet. One is to put antifreeze in. We got to put gas in it, prime everything, but it is sitting on the floor. This thing is so close to firing up, but it's the end of the day on a Saturday, and we just ran out of gas. Literally ran out of gas. It's just, we've been cramming out here for all week trying to get this thing to go, or trying to get it ready to start. And it's like I said, it's the end of the day now, and we're just like, it's going to wait till tomorrow. But it's so close. We just got some things to detail, like the tank cover needs to be snapped on yet, but we got to get snaps. I didn't have them. I didn't have the right fuel line fitting for the bottom of the fuel pressure gauge to be able to hook up the fuel line to the fuel block so we can read fuel pressure. My boost gauge didn't show up. I got a boost vacuum gauge. That didn't show up in time either, but we put the old one in just for startup for right now. So there's a few things that need to still be detailed out, but we're really hoping to fire this thing up in the next day or so, maybe a couple days, but it is so close. We put the decals on from everybody's request. Decals, yes. Some said no decals. A lot. The percentage was really high on the decals. So I think we hit a happy medium here. We did a little bit of the decal, but we didn't put them all on. We left everything off on the side bumpers. We left them off the tunnel, but we just ordered up some yellow or orange pinstripe. We're thinking a 1/4-inch pinstripe around the bottom of the windshield, maybe on the bumpers, front and back. We'll see. We're to start with the windshield though. I think we're gonna leave the tunnel bare. We're not gonna do anything with the tunnel. I spent part of today fabricating up the intake that goes through the hood. I didn't want the air filter right down onto the turbo because I would have had to cut so much of the hood out for this to work, because the turbo, if you can see, the inlet's right here, so this filter, I would have been cut so far into the hood. So I welded together some fittings out of stainless. Trent, let's pull that air filter off and lift the hood up so we could check out the fuel business of this thing. Is insane. Oh my God, I finally wrapped my head all around it, and I'm pretty sure I have this fuel system ready to rock and roll fuel. Yeah, my God, look at underneath here. Is that gorgeous? Oh my goodness. The bling, 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 and shine. I don't know if I had this in the last video. I'm not sure. Was it, Trenton? Did we have the orange one on there?
We had the polished one on there, I think.
I think we had the polished one on, and we had powder coated one orange. And then when me and Trenton decided to step back the amount of orange underneath the hood, he polished one out and he says, all right, let's get rid of that orange. We got rid of the orange on the fuel rail or the coolant rail and stuff. And then with the polished cover on there with all the shiny of the exhaust and everything else, we're like, I think we got to go back to the orange cover. So we put the orange cover on. We both agreed, yep, it's a nice balance of orange underneath the hood. We didn't need the polished cover. We're really liking it, but all of our clutching's set up now. I've been speaking to a guy in Michigan, gave me a whole bunch of information on clutching and jetting and fuel pressures. And now we got all the carbs all set up. Got our Banshee power jets all installed in there now. I ordered them offline for a Banshee because I broke one. Bummer. I did break one of my original ones, but was able to get these. Got all the fuel lines ran. Got the bowls tapped with the extra fuel running up to the power jet and stuff. Here's our regular vent lines that'll go to the air box. And then once we're under boost, I'm sorry, this one's hooked to the top of the slide, but when under boost, it's going to force boost on top of the slide so they don't just pop open with the boost. And same with this line here. This is the fuel bowl vents. Once we're under boost, that's going to put pressure into the fuel bowls to force fuel up this line to this power jet, that you can adjust your wide open throttle poles with this power jet here to add more fuel to the engine. But look at the business end down here of the fuel block. Oh my goodness, just crazy. We got a couple shutoff valves in here because we added a couple fittings to our tank to feed the electric fuel pump. The original system was teed off of the one line that came out of the tank. And I felt there could be possibly a fuel starvation situation at that point of trying to pull enough fuel out of 1/4-inch fitting for the mechanical and the electrical. So I installed 5/16 fuel feeds for the electric fuel pump. And I kind of color coded it. Anything that's on the electrical side, electric pump, is red. All mechanical side and combined side is blue. So anything that's just red is anything that's feeding or returning from the electric side. But so we got a return from the fuel pressure regulator, we have a return, and then we have the feed to the electric fuel pump. It's an awesome setup. We got shut-off valves on both so we can shut our fuels off. Oh, I'm so excited. And the time I spent thinking on how to do all that is crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy how much time it took to think of all this stuff. And we got our pressure switch up here. That at 2 PSI is going to kick on that electric fuel pump. And we did that, like I said, we did that momentary switch up here. I can just bump that switch when the battery's in. I can bump the switch to prime the system. Something else we added to the inside the tank on the electric one, I added a filter, an in-tank filter with a check valve that won't allow the fuel to bleed off of this electric fuel system. So when first couple times I prime this out, that should always keep fuel in this fuel line. It shouldn't bleed back into the tank at all because of that check valve that I put on that fuel line. So hopefully that all works. I mean, that's the theory, is the check valve only allows fuel to flow one direction, and the one I put in should allow the fuel to come in to the electric fuel pump. Something else I installed that was not in the original system is I put some one-way check valves also in the fuel system on the electric side, and I put one, I don't know if we can see it, it's way down in here, on the mechanical side. That way, either pump isn't forcing fuel up either direction of those systems. I think that way all the fuel will be concentrated into this fuel block. Like the mechanical can't force fuel up that direction when it's just running under mechanical. And when the electric kicks in, it can't force fuel backwards through this way. I don't know. Maybe you can't force fuel through a mechanical pump the wrong way, but I just figured, what the heck, I'm putting these one-way valves in. That way the fuels can't go either direction. It's all concentrated to that fuel block. So we got our gauges up here. Like I said, I'm missing a couple, and we have our boost controller right here. So in theory, when we're trail riding this thing, we're just gonna back this thing all the way out. Take all the boost out. That way we're not using excessive amounts of gas, especially 110 in this thing that is insanely expensive. So we can just back that boost out, and this engine's gonna act like it doesn't even have a turbo on it. We jetted 3 main jets up from stock, so I have 290s in there right now. I pulled the needles up too, so it made it richer in the low end too by moving the needles up. I might even have to richen that up some more, because now we're forcing cold air. We're gonna be forcing cold air, even when it's on our boost, we're gonna be forcing cold air into this air box here, and it kind of feeding the fuel and air into those carbs. So my theory is, fatten it up first. Ride it a couple times, check plugs. We'll watch the one EGT that we have on it. We put one EGT gauge right in the center of the Y pipe. It's out kind of far. It's really not exactly where you'd want it to your piston skirt, but it's just going to be kind of a gauge, an extra visual in case, once we get this thing dialed in and we check our plug colors and our piston wash and stuff, and we know, okay, at wide open, we're safe at this temperature, because everything's saying it's good. And if the temperature greatly changes one day and we're riding on this thing hard and all of a sudden our EGT goes way up, we know to let off, because that's not safe then. Even if our good number is at 1,000, we'll know if it changes drastically one day when we're riding this. Or maybe the fuel pump didn't come on and we didn't catch that the fuel gauge isn't reading fuel pressure or something. So all those things, I think that EGT will help us. Just to kind of catch something before it happens. So I'm hoping to fire this thing, like I said, in the next couple days. So this is the part of the video when we want to say, what does this thing weigh? Yep, that's my big question for this video. Please comment, because when we fire this thing up, we're going to ride it out of the shop. We're going to do a U-turn back into the shop over to the hoist over there, and we're going to hang it from our scale. So I want everybody to comment. What do you think this thing's gonna end up weighing? Me and Trenton already put a couple ideas down, didn't we, Trenton? Mm-hmm. Yep. So we got ours jotted down. I got them written on a piece of paper. Yeah, it's always fun to weigh them at the end. So it's gonna have 5 gallons of gas in it, mixed gas. If you want to consider the 24 ounces of oil that I put in that 5 gallons as weight too. It's gonna have the air box, and it's gonna have everything in it, ready to ride, antifreeze. Completely ready to ride, because we're going to ride it out and we're going to ride it right back in to weigh it. So it'll be fully dressed, ready to ride. We've weighed the last several projects. Three Fingers, I think, was the first sled we weighed. And then we started weighing them all because we were kind of in awe of what some of them have weighed. So that's the question. What is this going to weigh? And I think once we get it running and weighed, then we might start talking about the cost of this thing. I think a lot of you'd be surprised of what it actually cost us to build this thing. Yeah, we'll do that in a different video. Right now is not the time. So thanks to everybody that clicks on the super thanks and gives a donation to the channel. Can't thank you enough for that. And like I said, consider becoming a member of my channel. That's a button right below the video. Just click on being a member. You can kind of see the steps there. And appreciate all the comments. Like I said, what's this thing weigh? Wish us luck on fire up of this thing in the next day or so. Then we'll do another video. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Let's put that hood back down, Trent.